Our top story tonight on Gravitas is about a major row that erupted at the Paris Olympics. Have you heard about the Algerian female boxer's 46-second win at the Paris Olympics? Imane Khelif of Algeria defeated Angela Carini of Italy after Carini quit 46 seconds into the match. And the developments have since transformed into a heated controversy. Let's break it down for you. It all started after Khelif's opening bout on Thursday ended dramatically when her Italian opponent, Carini, withdrew just 46 seconds into the clash. She had suffered a nose injury. She withdrew to preserve her life. Khelif is being called trans, biological male. Her gender identity is being questioned. Critics are slamming the International Olympic Committee's decision to let Khelif compete. They are asking whether her participation compromised the fairness of the sport. The episode has given rise to a series of questions. Big questions like, was this a fair match? What does the IOC have to say about all this? Did indifference lead to this situation? Let's just understand this better, but first, here's what happened in the bout. Khelif won her round of 16 welterweight match, defeating Italy's Carini. Carini's defense was well under par through the bout. The punch that landed at the end was taken full on the face. The Italian boxer withdrew from the match and was seen crying in the middle of the ring. Post the match, Carini said that she had never been hit this hard before. Carini said that she ended the fight because she felt a severe pain in her nose. The speed of Khelif's victory and the manner of it, Carini quitting in tears after being subject to a barrage of punches, were all picked up on social media. Many allege that Khelif was a man or trans person and should not have been playing at a women's event. But here's the thing, the match was controversial even before it started. You see, Algeria's Khelif is one of the two boxers permitted to fight at the Olympics despite being disqualified from the Women's World Championships last year for failing gender eligibility tests. Khelif and Taiwan's Lin Yuting had reportedly failed to meet gender eligibility tests at last year's World Boxing Championships. At the time, sporting officials alleged that the boxers failed an unspecified test because they had male chromosomes. But with both being allowed to compete this year, the Olympics received massive backlash in the days leading up to the match. Here's what we know. Khelif was born a cis woman as declared in her passport. It's on this basis that the International Olympic Committee determines eligibility to participate in women's events. She has been competing in women's competition for several years. In fact, she represented Algeria at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics as well, where she lost in the quarterfinals. She finished 17th in the 2018 AIBA World Championships and 33rd in the 2019 one before reaching the final in the 2022 Worlds where she lost. So she has been beaten before. There is no suggestion Khelif has done anything wrong. She is not known to have cheated by doping with testosterone, a naturally occurring hormone which both men and women produce. Nor is Khelif a transgender, despite what some are insinuating online. Unusually, Khelif is reported to have XY sex chromosomes. Most women have XX sex chromosomes, but Khelif was born female. More importantly, boxers are supposed to punch each other hard to win. Still, the criticism flew in, with many labeling her as trans or biological male. After the fight, the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, spoke out on the matter. She questioned the International Olympic Committee's decision to allow the Algerian athlete to compete among women. She said, and I'm quoting, "In these things, what counts is your dedication, your head and character, but it also counts having a parity of arms." Several American politicians, including former President Donald Trump, also shared their views on the match. He said, and I'm quoting now, "I will keep men out of women's sports." Khelif's win also provoked responses from several prominent figures who are known for their problematic remarks on transgender people. Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling referred to the Algerian boxer Khelif as male, calling the match a brutal injustice. Billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk, who recently drew criticism for his comments about his estranged trans daughter, linked it to the US presidential elections. Replying to a post about the match on X, he wrote, "Kamala Harris supports this. Vote accordingly," quote unquote. And amid the criticism, many also raised a pertinent issue. If Khelif was banned by the International Boxing Association, or IBA, how is she taking part in the Olympics? And here's where the story gets interesting. The boxing event in Paris is being handled by the IOC. In 2019, the IBA had been de-recognized by the IOC for financial mismanagement, governance, and integrity issues. A day before the match, the IOC criticized the backlash directed at Khelif, as well as the decision by the IBA to disqualify her from last year's championships. The IOC said in a statement, the current aggression against these two athletes is based entirely on this arbitrary decision, which was taken without any proper procedure, especially considering that these athletes had been competing in top-level competition for many years. Such an approach is contrary to good governance, quote unquote. In its statement, the IOC noted that it withdrew recognition of the IBA last year. Instead of the IBA, the IOC refers to the Paris 2024 Boxing Unit, an ad hoc unit it developed for its eligibility standards. The IOC said that the gender and age of the athletes are based on their passport. It raises questions about the entire incident. So who is at fault here? Was the match fair for Khelif-Carini? Is it time for the IOC to re-evaluate its eligibility criteria? Whatever Khelif's biological profile is, the fact remains that she is a woman. Is the criticism right? Is it right to try and put the label of a biological male or trans? Were there inconsistencies in the IOC's eligibility criteria? Is it the IOC's indifference that has landed us here in the first place? Is it time that the IOC goes back to the drawing board and factors in the biological differences to make it fair play? And was it not fair play in the first place? The entire episode has triggered a lot of concern and allegations of injustice for Carini and injustice for Khelif. Crucial questions are being asked. Do sports organizations need to do more to ensure the right to compete without discrimination is championed? To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.